If you want the job is yours.
I could go back to being a waitress.
No.
I didn't mind that.
No, not all the waitresses want. No. But I gotta tell you now, the hostess does all the work. Oh, the waitresses make the tips. You want the job?
Oh, Johnny! Oh, of course I do. Oh, I just love this place. You know that. Why, it's more like a home to me than my apartment.
Well, maybe you should get another apartment.
Oh, no, you know what I mean. I'm alone there. But when I come in as the new moon, oh, you know how I'm like. I'm that large family that I came from. I love a lot of noise and the smell of good food cooking.
Well, I think then maybe you are born to the restaurant business.
Hey, you know something? Maybe you got something there. Yeah, why not? After all, being a cop didn't hurt either. You have to deal with all kinds of people, good, bad, drunk, sober.
Well, I'm glad you feel that way. Of course, Laurie thinks of you as family, and so do I, and Tracy. Listen, how's Tracy been around here?
Well, she's all right, I guess.
Has she been seeing that young Dr. Neely?
Yes, she's seen him a couple of times. In fact, I think she has an appointment today.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Abby. Uh-huh. No, I can't do that because I got to be in court this afternoon. It's very important. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah, thank you very much. Right, bye-bye. Good old Abby. She'll be there at the house.
Poor old Abby. It seems like we're always getting her away from work.
Well, she doesn't have much work to do in the next couple of weeks because she's closing down the snack shop.
What for?
Well, she says she's been losing money every day that it's open, so she's using the reverse technique. She's closing it down. She's become a millionaire.
Sounds to me like she's just being nice.
Well, she'll be... I'm going to go see if I can't find that nurse.
Hi. Hey,
Hi.
you have to be careful, sweetie.
No, I'm just lending a hand.
Hello, how are you? Come to think of it, you never did carry me over the threshold of this place.
That's a terrific idea. A little overdue, I think, considering the delicate condition of the bride. How are you, Mother-to-be?
I'm just fine, thank you very much. And you're sweet to come by and wait for us.
Well, somebody had to be here to be the reception committee. It was no hardship. I love this barn of yours. Hey, what took you so long getting here?
Very careful driving. That's what did. I gotta get something else.
Come on in, darling. Sit down.
Now listen, you. Don't you start that. I'm okay. Little weak, but otherwise I am just fine.
Well, you're also a little bit pregnant from what I hear, and that means you gotta take care of yourself.
You know, it's very funny, Abby. When I used to think about having a baby, well, I thought, since I'm big and strong, I'd just go and have that baby out in the rice paddies and then go right back to work again.
Yeah, well, no rice patties for me. If I ever have a kid, it's going to be right in the middle of a great big bed.
In fact, that's where you should be right now.
Oh, Adam, come on, not so soon. I mean, it's bad enough.
Hey, wait a minute. What's wrong?
I guess Adam didn't tell you, did he?
Tell me what?
Joel just has to be off her feet for a little while, that's all.
For 2 months, Abby. Can you imagine that?
Well, the 2 months aren't sacrosanct. It's just the recommendation of the doctor at the hospital.
That's right. 2 months is just a guess. It could be 6. Isn't that a lovely idea?
Is it because of... Well, you know.
It's because Clay Jordan just picked a very bad time to treat me the way he did.
Well, we're concerned about right now is the treatment you're going to get from now on.
Mm-hmm. Like an invalid?
Well, I've got to be at court, so I can't get out of here unless I know everything's all right.
Well, don't worry about a thing. I've arranged to spend the whole day here with Nicole.
Oh, now, Abby, wait a minute, really. Now, that's terribly unfair.
Unfair? My foot. It's a vacation for me. I put a lock on the restaurant door, thereby beating the sheriff to it.
Abby, you have done much too much for me. For both of us, actually. I mean, it's all right to be a good neighbor, but I think you're overdoing it.
Yeah, I agree. Incidentally, I'm going to be calling around, see if I can't get a good live-in nurse.
No, you don't mean that.
Well, someone's got to take care of me. I can't do that.
And wait a minute, not a nurse. Now, look, we talked about a maid or a cleaning woman or a housekeeper, that's all.
We'll talk about that later.
No, we won't. Now, wait a minute, that's not fair. You go bouncing out of here to have a good time in
A
court.
good time. I'm defending a guy who robbed 21 gas stations in the last 6 weeks, and he's barely 18 years old.
Adam, please, don't do anything until you've talked to me. Don't go and hire all sorts of people to take care of
All
me.
right, I'll just make inquiries. As a matter of fact, I want to call that doctor that Lacey suggested. Do you know an obstetrician named Dr. Emmons?
No, I haven't had much truck with obstetricians, unfortunately.
Well, I'm going to be back home about 5:30. If I'm not, just don't worry about
Oh,
it.
don't rush. I'll be here, and I'll have a big meal waiting for you.
No, you don't have to do that.
Look, don't argue with good Samaritans. We are very stubborn people.
All right, adios, Sam.
Bye-bye.
Go, sit down.
Abby, I don't know whether to laugh or cry.
Well, you can do both as far as I'm concerned. Except I think we should continue this conversation from your bed.
I think you're right. All of a sudden, I seem to be terribly tired. Or maybe I'm just nervous. Or thirsty or something.
Thirst is something I could do something about. I saw some apple juice in the refrigerator.
That sounds good.
I fixed your bed and everything. I mean, changed the sheets and all that.
Abby, you are too much.
Yeah, well, I'm just a born housewife. That's what I am. But so far, all I've got is the house. Well, you look at me. You think you're nervous. There you go.
Janie really missed you and Johnny.
How'd he tell you that? He's only a year old.
Oh, he could. Even a 1-year-old can communicate. I told you I'd stop by every day.
Thanks for doing that, Mom. Not that I was worried about Mrs. Granger.
Oh, no. She was wonderful with him.
That's the only thing I was worried about. She'd be so wonderful, she'd steal his affections completely.
Did you know that he kept saying Mama to her?
Yes. I did. She told me about 1,000 times. Big thrill for her. Not for me.
Oh, is that the impression you got? Oh, she misunderstood, honey. He wasn't calling her Mama. He was calling for you.
Well, I don't know about that, but I like to hear it just the same.
Are you sorry that you didn't take him with you on the trip?
I missed him, of course.
But then you were able to accomplish everything that you wanted.
It made things easier. I really didn't accomplish anything.
Laurie, isn't the real reason you left the baby home because you wanted to spend all your time looking for Timmy?
Mother, I wanted to stay in San Francisco, but not just because I wanted to see Timmy. It was because I was afraid that something was wrong with him.
Do you have any reason to think such a thing?
Well, I told you the way Mrs. Harper behaved. She was being very secretive.
Well, do you know why she behaved like that? Do you think possibly she might have thought that you were intruding and that you might upset Timmy, which is what you would have done?
Timmy would have been delighted to see us.
Of course he would have, hon, but I know what else you would do. You would start to talk to him about coming back to Monticello.
Mother, I just wanted Timmy to know that somebody still cared about him, that he had a place to go if he wasn't happy there.
Laurie, don't you understand how that can upset a child? To make him a pawn?
The Harpers have not legally adopted Timmy yet. He still has the right to make a choice.
Look, don't you remember his own custody trial? When his parents were bitterly opposed to each other. I mean, they tore him in one direction and then another. Don't you realize the kind of scar it can leave on a child for the rest of his life?
Yes, I realize. I know all about it.
I wasn't talking about you, Laurie.
Well, why don't you? You just said how terrible it is that parents get divided. Well, my parents are divided. Don't tell me that just because I'm old enough to have a child of my own that it shouldn't matter to me.
Laurie, I was talking about Timmy, not you.
All right. All right, suppose that Mrs. Harper was just trying to protect herself. That still doesn't explain all of that mystery out there.
Darling, there's nothing that... There is nothing mysterious about this. Timmy went out to the country with his uncle.
And where in the country? And why in the middle of a school term? And why can't she tell me what the address is?
I just told you, because she might have been afraid that you would go out there and make him homesick for Monticello.
If she knew that he was happy, that wouldn't have alarmed her.
Really, Laurie, I'm sure you know better than that. I mean, you know how some people feel about their children's affections. Now, if you were Mrs. Harper, would you like somebody to come by and try to lure your child away from you?
No, I guess not.
So is that, could that be an answer?
Why do you always have to be right? Maybe you were right all along. You told me I shouldn't go out to San Francisco. Now I wish I hadn't.
It wasn't much vacation, was it?
No. Sure wasn't. And poor Johnny really needed a vacation, too. I guess I just ruined it for him.
Well, I'm sure that there are going to be other times.
When I think about all the money that I wasted on hotels and airfare, and I don't know where I'm going to get the money to pay that man if he does.
What man?
Before I left San Francisco, I hired a private investigator, a man named James Moore. I don't know if he's any good. I just found his name in the telephone book.
And what did you hire him to do?
To find Timmy. Nothing more than that. Just to find him and tell me if he's all right. I thought that was the least I could do.
Well, if it isn't the long arm of the law, I presume you're off duty, unless this is somebody you've pinched.
I hope not. I bruise easily.
Molly, I want you to meet Deborah Saxon. Deborah, this is Molly O'Connor. The only lady cop I know who manages a restaurant.
Oh, you're a cop, really?
Yeah, I've got a private license. But you know, I'd much rather feed people than investigate them. Well, do you want to sit down? As long as you take this table.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Thank you. Actually, I'm not really a manager anymore. Not since Sin himself came back.
Johnny's back?
Mm-hmm. The prodigal has returned.
Oh, does that mean you're out of a job?
Well, no. The hostess here went got herself pregnant, so he asked me to stay and help her.
Oh, that's Nicole Drake. I've been reading about her. I heard she was badly mistreated. How is she?
She's had a terrible time, that woman. But she's all right now, from what I hear. She's pregnant, but that is a little iffy because of what she's been through.
Well, they say it's an ill wind that doesn't blow somebody some good, Molly.
Oh, sure, if she were well, I wouldn't have a job. And maybe I should offer to trade her. She can have her job back if I could be married to Adam Drake.
You think she'd accept the offer?
She'd be a fool if she did. Well, I guess this isn't getting the baby's face washed, as they say. Would you like a drink?
No, think about it.
Oh.
Well, on second thought, I guess I'll have a Bloody Mary.
That sounds good. I'll have one, too.
Oh, good. I just learned how to make them.
No, Mike, they're not optimistic. ambivalent feelings. I don't know whether to encourage Nicole about this baby or... I just don't want to get her hopes up too high.
Damn Clay Jordan.
I agree. That man had only one goal in life, and that was to collect the money for finding Revenant. I figured nothing would stand in his way.
Not even the life of a woman he supposedly loved and cared about.
I care about her, too. Mike, I wish I knew how I could handle this thing.
You'll just have to live with it from day to day. See what kind of progress Nicole is making. Frankly, you don't have much choice. You're going to have to do everything you can to see that the baby is born. And if it's not, you'll have to learn to accept that, too.
Yeah, I guess so.
Adam, Nicole really wants this baby. I'm sure you know that.
Yeah, I know.
Doesn't make a bit of difference that it wasn't planned. The day she got the news, she was the happiest woman in the world. There's a kind of sweet irony involved here. Nicole came so close to losing her life, and now she may give birth to a new life. And that means a lot to her.
Yes, it does.
Except that she's afraid to express how much it means to her because she's not really sure that you feel the same way. Do you?
Oh, here we go. This will make you nice and comfy. And I don't know what's the matter with me. I'm all thumbs today. I'm sorry.
Is that, Abby? You sure are. What in the world is the matter with you?
Well, it must be business worries.
What's the matter? Something wrong with the restaurant?
I told you I'm saving money, keeping the place closed. You know, the heating bill alone is keeping me broke. And once you know, it's been the worst winter we've had in years.
That probably keeps people home, yes.
Yeah, they must be going somewhere. They're certainly not coming to my restaurant. And besides, I've got a lot of people to support and... Oh, well, never mind.
Abby, come on, talk to me. You told me so little about yourself. I know you have a great big family, because I know they take over for you at the restaurant.
Yeah, it's true. I've got more people on the payroll than I have customers.
Ah, maybe that explains it. I mean, if you're trying to support all them, it's no wonder that you're broke.
Yeah, well, I think I better get lunch started. You're hungry, I hope?
Yes, I am. Is that a good sign?
It's terrific. I'll be right back. Yes, I know.
Well, is everything all right? Is the lady of the house at home?
please.
I am not interested in listening to a long conversation, Miss Walker. No, you know the only reason that I'm here is...
Look,
one?
please, don't hurt Nicole, please. There's no point in hurting her.
Go home, Mrs. Walker. You've done your job. Now it's my time to do mine.
I am flat on my back again, in bed, as if it wasn't bad enough that I spent nearly a year of my life in bed in that hospital in Paris.
Well, you know, they say we spend a third of our lives in bed. Of course, it was left to me. I'd never get up.
Ollie, enough is enough. I mean, the thought of 2 months like this, 2 months, at least that's what the doctor told me.
Well, you know, he's not one of the specialists, though. Why don't you wait and see one of them?
Adam's trying to get a hold of an obstetrician today. Who knows? He may put me here for the duration. I really don't think I could bear that. Terribly unfair to Adam.
Listen, is he up there with you?
No, he went back into town. He has a very important court case this afternoon.
Oh, you're not alone, are you?
Oh, heavens no. Abby Walcott came to the rescue as usual. She's downstairs making lunch.
I'm glad somebody's with you.
Sometimes I think that woman deserves a medal. She's done so very much for me.
Look, you mustn't hurt Nicole, please. There's no point in hurting her.
Go home, Mrs. Walker. You've done your job. Now leave me to mine.
But you have got to tell me what you're going to do.
Oh, why this sudden attack of morality? You never cared that much before.
You're wrong. I cared very much. If I knew what I was getting into when that damn secretary of yours contacted me,
With your eyes wide open, I'm sure. Well, you can shut your eyes now. If you can't stand the sight of blood.
Blood. Oh, my God, you're not going to kill her.
Please, Mrs. Walker, go home. Now, don't spoil my lovely reunion with Mrs. Drake. It'd be very upsetting if you did a thing like that.
Mr. Evelyn, please, let's just talk about this. Look, you must be very tired. Can I get you some coffee or something?
Don't be so damn domestic. I didn't come here for a coffee clutch. I came to say, come here to take care of something I've been meaning to take care of for 6 months.
Look, you have no reason to want Nicole dead. I told your secretary that. She didn't know where your island was. She probably never knew where it was.
She knew where it was. Why do you suppose that I am here? Why do you suppose that the police officers swarming all over my beautiful paradise right now? And destroying everything I've built, tearing down everything that I tried to create year after year. Oh, I must sit down. If you only knew how tired I was.
I was just going to get some lunch, and then there's some coffee made. Why don't I get you a cup, and then we can talk about all this?
Never mind about the coffee. Is there anything to drink? Scotch, perhaps?
Yes, there is. wasn't her fault that they found your island.
Don't be naive, Mrs. Wilkins. Of course it was her fault. No. It was my fault. Yeah, my fault for being so careless. For not making absolutely sure that that woman was off my island and could not betray me before I left Limbo Island. So, I should have known she'd be my downfall when she arrived on that island. Everything was absolutely perfect until that day. Until my poor, friendly Billy picked her out of the sea. I should have recognized my nemesis when I saw her.
Look, she didn't want to be there. She never wanted to hurt you.
And neither does a thunderbolt want to hurt anybody either. And that's what she was. Oh, if I had only waited to see that Billy had did what he was supposed to do. But he didn't, of course. He simply said that he had taken care of her.
Weren't you doing a little pretending yourself?
What are you talking about?
Nicole told me you never intended to take Billy with you, that you only promised him that.
What? Oh, that doesn't pertain to you. Besides, Billy was shot to death.
No, he wasn't.
What?
That's how they found your island, Mr. Revenant. Billy is alive and living in St. Anthony. It wasn't Nicole who gave away your secret.
What? I don't believe you. You're protecting that woman. You're saying anything you can.
Look, I'm telling you, it's the truth. I swear it is. Billy saved Nicole's life. He took her in a small boat somewhere to an island near Guadeloupe. He said he was going to go back to St. Anthony and become a fisherman again.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, Billy was a fisherman before I recruited him.
Don't you see, if you kill Nicole, you're punishing for something she didn't do.
Aha, revenge, Mrs. Wilkins. Yes, even the Bible says so.
But Nicole isn't guilty. You have no reason to do this now. No, it's her doing. I'm sure of it. Because she remembered about Billy. Yes, and that's why I am in the problem that I am today. In this trouble. No, that damn woman has got to pay for what she did to me. Oh, if only it could have been done months ago. I sent 4 professionals to do it, and every one of them failed me. Which proves the old adage, Mrs. Wilkins. If you want anything done right, you better do it yourself. If I knew you were going to do this, I would never have sent you that warning that the police were coming to your island.
I appreciate that, Mrs. Wilkins. I really do. As at least I have my freedom, if not my fortune. And believe me, you will be amply rewarded for your loyalty.
The only reward you can give me is to leave Nicole alone. Now it's time for me to go and visit my dear friend, Mrs. Drake.
There we are. 1 cup of coffee for you. And a nice thing had around before.
Well, I didn't know her before.
Well, that's a good enough reason. Don't you get you involved with him, you know. All cops are terrible, all desperate for women. I know we have half a dozen in my family.
Well, don't worry, I'm not interested in him in the least.
Oh, I'm sorry I spoke. Here, you might be interested to know that I've just spoken with Nicole on the telephone. She's back home, you know.
How does she sound?
Oh, not too chipper. The doctors have ordered her to bed, maybe for weeks and weeks.
Is that Nicole Drake, the one that was kidnapped by that man?
She used to be the hostess here. Oh, she's another one with no desserts. And, well, she does look like a fashion model, mind you. Oh, well. My type's coming back. Please, God.
Nicole Drake was the lady you used to bodyguard, isn't she?
Yeah, that's right. Thought I told you about that. I spent 3 weeks up at this renovated barn of theirs.
Yeah, you told me about that job. What I'd like to know more about is your new job at the Ace of Clubs.
What more can I tell you? Bo Richardson decided that he needed more protection at the Ace of Clubs than he has,
And he thought a cop coming in 1 or 2 nights a week might just do the trick. You don't like the idea, do you?
To tell you the truth, no, I don't.
Even though Bo is a friend of yours?
He's no friend of mine. He's an associate of my father's. I've known him ever since I was a baby, practically.
Sort of like an uncle.
Uncle Bo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe Bo's changing.
Yeah? In what way?
Well, maybe he is interested in law and order.
Listen, think about what you're doing, I beg of you.
I think what you've done, Mrs. Wolcott.
I am well aware of what I've done.
Oh, yes. And now you're sorry for it, I'm sure. Oh, you're a paid friend, Mrs. Wolcott. The world is full of paid friends. Now, either you go immediately and say nothing about this, or else I am going to have to do something that I may be sorry for.
No, I will not let you do this, Nicole.
No. I'm sorry to disturb your dreams, Mrs. Drake. I'm sorry to awaken you from your dreams. But that's exactly what you've done to me. You've destroyed my dreams forever. Which is why I'm here. To make you pay for what you've done.
What are you doing here? Where's Abby? You haven't hurt her.
Mm-hmm. I haven't harmed any of your friends, Mrs. Drake. Contrary to what you think, I never intended to harm anyone.
You tried to kill me 12 times. You sent those men.
Yes. Yes. I will admit to that. You probably heard the tape, the message that I sent you. My poor attempt for peace and forgiveness. But maybe you didn't hear it.
I heard it.
Well, what a shame that you didn't do what I asked you to. What a shame that you're still pursuing me.
I wasn't. It was the police.
Ah, yes, of course. It's always the police. Well, they're swarming all over my perfect island at this very minute. Did you know? Yes. Oh, I can just see the brutes. Gaping at my Renoir and my Flamic and my Miro, trying to understand what they all mean. Oh, you were a fool not to come with me, Mrs. Drake, when I left Limbo Island. Yes, you would have enjoyed seeing my little paradise that I built for myself.
What is it exactly that you want here?
Yeah, well, why didn't you come, Mrs. Drake? I mean, could you really want to come back to this stable?
Don't you realize that it's dangerous for you, that the police are looking for it? My husband will be back any minute.
No. Your husband is Moncello. I know that, Miss Drake.
Oh, you see, there's my friend downstairs. She's been... Oh, no. Where is Abby? You haven't heard Abby.
I'm really interested in your choice, Mrs. Drake. I mean, to pick this life instead of the life that you could have led. But I suppose you must be happy here. Yes, riding around in your station wagon, planting your petunias in the backyard.
What is it that you want?
Isn't it obvious, Mrs. Drake? You have taken everything from me. Isn't it right for me to take everything from you?
You would have left by now.
No, Judge Whiteman wants us both in chambers at 3, so I got time to do some phone calls.
Including Nicole?
No, I don't think I'll call Nicole, Mike. She's sleeping right now. Oh, talk to her nurse. She didn't sleep at all last night. Got no rest at all.
Medical directory? What's that for?
Well, I'm trying to look up the credentials of an obstetrician named Emmons. He's recommended by Dr. Lacey. Also, I've got to get a hold of a first-class registered nurse for Nicole.
Yeah. Adam, it's really a pity. No, pity's not the word. It's more of an outrage she had to go through what she did. I better get going.
Where are you off to?
DA's office. See Draper Scott. Give him a pep talk for tomorrow.
That's right. The Saxon case goes to trial tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I rather suspect that Draper is quaking in his hush puppy.
I'm sure he's nervous. I would be if I had to face a jury with as little hard evidence as he had.
Well, considering that his major witness dropped dead.
Yeah, it wasn't just Harold Nivens who was buried yesterday. It may well have been our hopes for a conviction. But who knows? Maybe Draper will have a few tricks up his sleeve. Adam, give my love to Nicole. Tell her I'm thinking about her.
I sure will.
Why must you do this? What good would it do you to kill me?
For the good of my soul, Mrs. Drake. I have wished for your death for so long. And now, I'm going to make my wish come true.
I swear that to you. That day, when you were trying to show me the location of your island on the map, I wasn't paying any attention. I looked away. I couldn't have cared less where you were going.
Well, I didn't think it would do any harm for me to tell you where we were going. Naturally, I thought I was going to have to take you with me. And that's not such a pleasant and unpleasant idea, certainly. A kingdom, or even a tiny kingdom, needs a queen.
In the tape, you said you realized that I couldn't do you any harm because I didn't know.
I only realized that you couldn't when my secretary was arrested. Poor Miss Brownell. Now, did they treat her fairly? Is she in jail?
Yes, she is.
The police were very ingenious, weren't they? Pretending that you were dead so that she would go to that restaurant and deliver the payment. There's very clever people on your side, Miss Drake.
Also said that it was all over, that you weren't going to send any more men after me.
No, and I didn't, did I? I kept my part of the bargain. Unfortunately, you didn't keep yours.
I wasn't exactly in a position to make any bargains, Mr. Revenant. It was the police who decided to continue to look for you.
Yes, and they found me, didn't they? Because of you.
I had nothing to do with that, I swear it.
Oh, come on now, Mrs. Drake. Mrs. Wilkins has told me all about you and our old friend Billy.
Mrs. Walcott, Abby told you?
You may not remember where the island is, but you certainly remember Billy Guns, don't you? And Billy remembered enough to tell the police the exact latitude and longitude of my island.
You said that Mrs. Walcott told you. When?
Oh, quite recently.
Where is she? What have you haven't done?
You need to have no concern about Mrs. Walcott. She's at home and very safe. Oh, she objected a little to my plans for you. But since she was on my payroll as an employee, I employ her, I thought that it wasn't fair that she sided with you on this little matter.
She is an employee. I don't believe you.
Oh, yes. Yes, Mrs. Wilkins has advised me about your doings for some time now. She was the one that convinced me that I really had nothing to fear from you. Well, she, of course, was wrong. But she tried to make amends. She even got a message through to me telling me that the raid on my island was going to be done, and I left. So I suppose I should forgive her.
I don't believe you. Not Abby. Oh, no. Not Abby.
Yes, I wonder. Dr. Emmons called me. No, I'm in Monticello. Well, my office is in Monticello, but I live in Oakville. Yes, that's correct. I can be reached there anytime after 6:30. Tell me something. Is it possible for me to reach the doctor at the hospital? Well, yes, it is urgent. I'm very much interested to hear his opinion. All right. Yeah, one second. Yes? Yeah, it's fine. Is there another? Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Bye. Bye. Yes, Anna. Oh, sure, I'll speak to her. Hello, Abby. How are you?
Adam, something awful has happened. You've got to do something. You've got to save her.
Abby, what's the matter?
Revenant. Claude Revenant.
Abby, settle down. What are you talking about? What's happened?
Revenant is here. He's upstairs with her right now. I don't know what he's going to do.
What? Abby, get a hold of me. Take us right away.
All right.
Where are you right now?
I'm at the bar, and he tried to kill me, Adam.
All right, Abby, forget it. Hang up and don't pick up the phone at all. I'll get a hold of the police right here. Bye. hold, please. Yeah, this is an emergency. Adam Drake. Oh, Luke Chandler, is he around? Yes, please.
Luke. Hello, Adam. What's up?
Claude Revenant is in this country. He's in Oakville. He's in my house right now.
Good God.
Abby just called me. I've got to get out there as quickly as possible.
We've got a helicopter on the roof. How soon can you get over here?
I'm on the way right now.
Oh. How could you ever have done it, Mrs. Drake? Trading the tropics for this. Oh. Don't you miss the sun all day? Don't you miss those warm rays on your skin? And those gentle breezes lulling you into a half sleep?
Well, you didn't really have to leave it, Mr. Revenant. You didn't have to come up here to the cold weather.
Oh, yes, I did, Mrs. Drake. You forced me to. You forced me off my island.
There are other islands you could have gone to in the Caribbean.
Yes, and all of those islands have jails. Don't you realize, Mrs. Drake, that I am a hunted man? There was a time when only my enemies hunted me. But now the police are after me as well. You have turned the whole world against me, Mrs. Drake.
I didn't. Why can't you understand that? I never wanted to hurt you.
Oh, I know. You were a poor, little, innocent little thing in the middle.
That's true. I was in the middle. You weren't the only one looking for me. You know that. Your enemy became my enemies.
What do you mean by that?
There was a man named Clay Jordan. Did you know him?
Oh, well, I've heard of him.
Worked for the people who were looking for you. Disguised himself as a doctor. Came to my hospital in Paris. Sat next to my bed for almost a year, just waiting for me to come out of that coma, to tell him where you were.
Oh, yes. Mrs. Walker told me about him.
And then he tried to force the truth out of me. Kidnapped me. Used drugs on me to make me tell him the truth.
Yes, I heard that. They used sodium pentothal. Or some such nonsense. And they also use hypnotism, I understand.
Mrs. Walker tell you that, too? Why, did Abby tell you every little thing that's been happening here?
Yes. Yes, I can depend on Mrs. Walcott for everything. She even told me, as a matter of fact, that you and she would be alone here today. What's that?
What?
I swear I heard a car out there. Now, behind those trees.
Well, it's probably my husband. I told you he did not go into Monticello. He just went into Oakville, Mr.
Oh, you're lying. Yes, there is someone out there. They're moving very, very slowly.
Well, it's probably the police. If you left now, you might have a chance to get away.
Quiet.
Mr. Revenant, there are prisons here, too, you know. Now, if you go now, you may just have a chance.
Thank you for the advice, Mrs. Drake. But I still am here for one reason, and one reason only. You have made my life impossible to live, Mrs. Drake. That's why I have to take yours. A life for a life.
You'll be taking 2 lives.
Now, you turn your head away. Don't look at me.
I'm pregnant, Mr. Revenant. I'm going to have a baby.
You.
Copter's landed. Whoever's getting out is heading this way in a hurry.
Adam.
My name's Drake. This is my house. Where's my wife? Sergeant Yankovic is upstairs with her now. Oh, you all right?
I'm okay.
Everything's going to be all right, Mr. Drake.
Ah, Mr. Drake, we meet at last, eh?
Revenant. Been waiting to do this for a long time. Come on this way.
He was going to kill me.
Yeah. I didn't. It didn't.
It was the baby. Made him change his mind. When I told him about the baby, he couldn't do it. The baby saved me.
Central Monticello. Have them patch you through to Chief Marceau. Tell him that Nicole's all right and that Revenant's in custody.
Is she going to be all right?
Yeah. The sedative is finally taking effect.
I'm so relieved. Don't you believe me?
Why should I believe you, Abby?
You're the one who told Revenant where Nicole was.
No, I didn't. Revenant has known where you've been ever since you moved here to Oakville.
How did he know, Abby?
Look, it's the truth. I swear he has always known where to find you.
How?
Well, anyone could have told him. But it wasn't me. Not at first.
What do you mean, not at first?
Well, about 2 or 3 months ago, I got a phone call.
Phone call from whom? Claude Revenant?
No, a woman, his secretary. She said that Revenant didn't want to try to hurt Nicole anymore. And all they wanted me to do was keep an eye on her and report to them.
Abby, how on earth could you be willing to do that?
Can't you figure that out?
Money?
I was desperate, Adam.
You must have been.
You see, it was a great deal of money. Otherwise, I never would have thought of doing it.
Abby, how often did you report to this woman?
Oh, whenever she asked me to, sometimes 3 or 4 days would go by.
And how are you paid?
Sometimes by money order, but most of the time, cashier's checks made out to me.
Going on what bank?
Oh, in different banks, different places in Florida.
Sounds like our friend the secretary was a pretty busy lady.
Abby, didn't it ever occur to you that while all these attacks were going on against Nicole, that you were working for a woman whose sole responsibility was to arrange those attempts?
No. No, of course I didn't. If I thought that, I never would have done it.
Or you would have asked for more money.
Look, I never wanted to bring Nicole any harm, I swear it. After a while, I thought I was the one who could save her.
Abby, are you saying that you thought you could save Nicole by informing on her to a man who had sworn he was going to kill her?
Yes, by making sure he knew the truth.
Would you mind explaining that to me?
I told him that Nicole's memory had not come back, that she had no idea where his island was. And that meant he would have no reason to want to kill her. It seemed logical to me he wouldn't want to kill her again.
Logical to you and to me, yes. But how logical to a man who is insane?
But Adam, I didn't know he was insane.
Oh, Abby. You've been reading the newspaper stories. You heard us discuss it. When I think how openly we discussed this in...
Look, once I started, I couldn't stop, and I guess I never thought this thing through.
When were you last contacted?
It was weeks ago. This time from a man.
Oh? We'd like to hear more about that.
Well, there's not much to tell. He said I wouldn't be hearing from that woman again, that I would be hearing from him, and he gave me a number to call in case of an emergency.
Did you ever use it?
Yes.
What for? Abby, you informed Revenant that his island was being invaded. Didn't you?
Yes, I heard you and Nicole talking about it that night in the restaurant.
You must have figured that was a pretty good piece of information. He'd pay very well for it.
Yes, but I didn't think that he would...
Did he pay you very well for it?
No. No, I didn't get paid. And Adam, it never occurred to me that he would come here and try to kill Nicole. I mean, she hadn't done anything. It was just so crazy.
Crazy. There's that word again.
Revenant's gonna get locked up, but not in prison.
And Nicole will finally be safe.
Yes, Nicole is safe. Finally.
Adam, whether it means anything to you or not, all I can say is thank God. Thank you. Adam, I'm sorry.
It's time to go, Abby.
I'm sorry, Adam.
So am I.
I'm sorry about everything. You didn't say that you believed me, and it would really help a lot.
I believe.
Please, try to make Nicole understand.
I will.
Thank you.
Do you believe her?
Well, I don't think she ever really intended to harm Nicole.
I don't think she gives a damn about anybody, except that she gets her money.
I think we have to remember, Lou, that if it wasn't for Abby, Nicole might very well have been killed.
Then maybe the court will take that into consideration.
I'll make sure that they do.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that you're going to defend her?
Sure. If she'll ask me.
Now, I've heard of turning the other cheek, but this is ridiculous.
Lou, everybody's entitled to a defense. And she was a friend.
Adam, you're a nice guy. guy's finish.
Johnny wanted 15 pounds of veal. I ordered 50, 5-0. Wouldn't it make you weep? And no room in the freezer. There were two cardinal sins to my mother. Missing mass and wasting food.
Well, I think we're going to be serving a lot of veal specialties this week.
I also got talked into a lot of tomatoes that, well, you just wouldn't throw them at a bad water routine.
Well, now you're forgetting a couple of nice things that you've done. You served a lot of people, a lot of good food, and that's very nice. We didn't make $1 million, but never expected to be a millionaire, so I guess that's all right, too.
Well, I better get cracking, or you won't be a millionaire this week either.
Well, wifey, you want to have a little food with me? Huh?
Oh, honey, I can't.
Oh, you can't. Let me see. It's because you're busy, right? Now, let me figure out the reason. You bumped into this very snazzy French person. You're going to work on the Champs-Élysées de Monticello. No, okay, not French. How about a nice Italian food? Now, you Italians, I know. You bought a couple of tickets, and you and I are going to go